Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
World Combat Sports. You know what it is, man. We have to talk about the fight recaps. You know what I'm saying? We have to get it out there immediately on what the priority is, especially in the lightweight division. But shout out to George Kambosos for going out here and inflicting punishment on Teofimo Lopez championship style. He did it championship style, dog. You kept Kambosos waiting for 3 fights, and he was representing Australia, man. He had all the damn momentum behind him. His spirit was high. He was fueled. I thought he was going to have a nervous breakdown. It comes times like this where if you're a true boxing fan, you have to give credit to Kambosos and his team for being patient enough to stick to a game plan, not overwork him, not get him injured, and come in there and have the performance that he did. The performance he had against Teo, I give it a B-. But his intentions and poise, man, I respected that. His intentions was to go out there and never allow Teo to dictate anything. Teo came out in the first round, full force, pressure, trying to knock him out, trying to stick to his pop's prediction, and got caught. The way he was going about pressuring Kambosos, it was evident. It was right there in front of his face that if he keeps that up early in the round where Kambosos is at his strongest and he's fresh, he's going to get dropped. And he got dropped, bro. Teofimo Lopez, he spoke about certain issues that was going on before the fight. He had an injury. He had problems making weight. The shit he was talking about, he had some issues going into this fight. He did. I just didn't speak about him. But he had some issues. So, I want to ask the boxing public, like, what do you want from a fighter? You want them to come in here and fight? And they're not absolutely 100%. Or do you want them to say, well, it's been 3 postponements, let me do it again? No one wanted to hear that. So you had to split the ropes and go make this shit happen and get it out the way, knowing that you only was on a short clock. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't feasible for Teo to go the entire 12 rounds because it just wasn't going to work out for him. And you seen it in his performance. He wasn't the Teo that stepped in there with Lomachenko. He wasn't as quick, mobile as he did with Lomachenko. And, I don't think he had the same, how would I say, alertness that he usually, like he wasn't sharp as he usually is. But taking nothing away from Kambosos, man, Kambosos went in there and did what the fuck he was supposed to do on that night. He stayed tough, man. That Australian, goddamn, dude is tough. Dude was motherfucking tough, dog. He beat Teofimo's. He beat him up. No one in Teo's career has made him look like that. No one. And when I tell you no one, Nakatani lumped him up a little bit. Diego Magdaleno lumped him up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But no one has had that man bloodied and battered like George Kambosos did last night. Definitely give a shout out, a big shout out to George Kambosos for going in there and lifting those titles off TO. Listen, this game of boxing, man, when you at your most high, I'm telling you, when you are floating on the motherfucking clouds, shawty, and you just feeling good, how quickly do you return back to where it all started? You know what I'm saying? When you flying up there, you have to hit the runway. You know what I'm saying? Either you're going to come into the runway with landing gear or none at all. And we all know you come down on the runway with no landing gear, you're going to crash. And I believe last night, T.O. came in with partial landing gear. And he crashed and burned a little bit. Because, you know, the punishment that was being inflicted, the punches that was landing from Kambosos, you would think T.O. move his head a little bit more. He'd have better defense. But like I said before, he has some issues. He's been having issues with making weight. I know firsthand. all the way back to the Magnolino fight. I was there to shake out. He was having problems making weight. Imagine that. He wasn't even champion back then. He was having problems making weight. His dad even mentioned it. D. Hodges on deck. What's good with you? But when it comes down to it, when you seal it up, Kambosos is now and new lightweight undisputed champion. So it comes into play. And I don't know why I'm not seeing this same thumbnail up all across damn YouTube so we can get this, we can push this fight now. I'm not understanding why, because when Teofimo had this fight, everybody was saying they want to see Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, right? I don't hear too many people talking about Devin Haney, Kambosos. This is the last hoorah. This is the grand finale of the lightweight division right here. Now, of course, Devin Haney has a fight coming up, but I do not foresee Devin Haney outcome being anything similar to that of Teofimo Lopez. Tua has some other collateral stuff that's going on, other inhibitors or whatever you want to call them. He just didn't look like he was the T.O. we used to seeing. On this night, he got beat up. On this night, Kambosos beat him up. On this night, Kambosos fulfilled his dream. Big, man. Kambosos fulfilled his dream big. He was a mandatory, went in there and upset the champ in Teofimo Lopez. A mandatory. This wasn't no ordinary mandatory, goddammit. That's why I'm saying, check this out. Listen, because I do this just enough to understand certain things, right? Just look at how Teofimo Lopez, and please don't extract my content and go use it and don't give me credit for it, right? Because nobody else is going to mention this but me right now, all right? But check this out. You can call it karma or whatever you want to call it, right? But peep this. What George Kambosos did last night is the same thing that happened to Teofimo Lopez. Like, the IBF is one of those danger zones you have to be very cautious about. Teofimo Lopez relocated and redirected his travel plans through the IBF, and he was able to go in there and upset Vasyl Lomachenko. I feel that Kambosos coming back around out of the IBF, taking the IBF route, he's in the IBF, and fighting Teofimo Lopez was somewhat like I wouldn't say karma, but the reality was similar. You know what I'm saying? The reality was similar with Kambosos stepping in the ring with Teofimo Lopez, an IBF mandatory. Teofimo went up through the IBF route and fought Masayoshi Nakatani for title eliminator, and then Comey, and then Lomachenko. He had his grand day with Lomachenko. The same thing. Kambosos came. He was in the IBF rankings. He came up there, stepped up to the plate for the unified titles, and he won. The IBF is becoming a danger zone for fighters. Man, shout out to Pete Davenport in the mother effing building this morning on a Sunday. Appreciate you there, Pete, for the donation. Dropping that 2020 twin. He says, shout out and always God favor to you and the family. Man, shout out to you, man. Your family during this holiday season. Hope y'all healthy and everything. And, big shout out and salute to Pete Davenport for always supporting the channel and dropping those donations. I totally appreciate you. One love to you there, Pete. It's much appreciated, big dog. Get the smoke on deck. Ghost to this day on deck, man. Thomas on deck. What's good? Pete said, peace, big bro, and D Hodges. D Hodges said, boxing karma should have fought Haney instead. Well, look at it this way. Like I say all the time, that D Hodges, what should have happened, what could have happened, didn't happen. So now we can make that happen. All Haney has to do is disperse of Jojo Diaz, which I fully expect him to do. It might be somewhat of a George Kambosos Teofimo Lopez battle, a back and forth battle. But one thing we know about Devin Haney, he has very, very fast hands. You know what I'm saying? His hands are much faster than Teo's. And Jojo isn't a George Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? They're two different fighters. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to look at Jojo's second fight at lightweight division going in there against Devin Haney. I see Devin Haney winning that fight. But let me be the first to say is, I know my thumbnail is the first one up here that's talking about this lightweight finale, because we need to see this. We need to see the Devin Haney and George Kambosos. George Kambosos is already threw down the challenge. He said he's heading to Vegas for the Devin Haney Jojo Diaz fight, and he's calling out. See, one thing that I hear about Kambosos that convinces me, I'm convinced he's going to be in Vegas. I'm convinced, dog. I'm convinced that Kambosos, every time a mic is in front of his face, he's going to be yelling out Haney's name. That's how this fight is going to get made. And I'm pretty sure, from what I heard already, Devin has put it out there that he wants to fight too. But he has to get through it. Get the smoke on deck. Peace, everyone. What's good? Get the smoke. D Hodges Torns. D Hodges Toms, you dog. I'm not sure what that mean. But I'm not sure what that mean. Mo Boxing on deck. What's good with you? Salute. Mo Boxing, Salon King, salute. Hope all is well. Shout out to Mo Boxing being in the building. At Ghost to this day, Salon. There with all the smoke. I doubt we get that fight next though. I think we can get it next after he disperses Jojo Diaz. What's next? What's next? Like put this out there. Devin Haney disperses Jojo Diaz. What's next for Kambosos? You gonna tell me he has a mandatory? Like, we're talking about for all the crowns, for all the glory of lightweight division. It's a fight out there that's bigger than Kambosos Devin Haney. Don't moonwalk. Don't moonwalk. This fight needs to happen. No Lomachenko. No. No Lomachenko. He had his opportunity. He chose to become franchise belt holder. All he had to do is fight Teo for the IBF. I don't want to see no Lomachenko shit. I don't want to see no Ryan Lion Garcia. No, I don't want to see that bullshit. Dude is unstable. He gets on and give a video to my, oh, that's gonna be my first fight back. We don't want to see Ryan Garcia in there with Kambosos. Ryan Garcia will find himself comatose for the wrong reasons. It won't be a hangover from last night either. It will be ventilators and defibrillators. Period. Ventilators and defibrillators. We don't want to see no motherfucking Ryan Lion Garcia. We want to see one fight right now, and that's Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. That's if indeed Jojo Diaz doesn't spoil the night. There's no need for me to get on here and talk about, well, I don't use that word expose because people abuse it, and really, when they use it, you're not exposing anything, because what was exposed outside of you just looking at a fight, nothing was exposed. It's boxing. Teofimo had problems with Nakatani. It's boxing. Fighters have, just like Toka Conklari and Nakathila. Shakur Stevenson had a little bit of issues with them. It happens in boxing. Look at the adversity. What's his name? Virgil Ortiz had. It happens. Mandatories in politics and boxing. I don't think that the powers that be are with Dev being the face of that division. Hey, it's one more title out there, and if people want to see the fight, the powers that be sometimes make a what? What does the powers that be? They make a what? Exception. If that is indeed the case, which I don't think so, they will make an exception, man, and goddamn make this fight. Especially riding off him upsetting Teofimo Lopez, and we're heading into 2022. Just to be a perfect fight. Is Loma not fighting soon? They're gonna make him a mandatory. Same with happening with two others. You got to be positive. I know boxing bring a lot of negative precipitation, but I understand you got to goddamn put your umbrella up, goddamn it, and find a tree to stand underneath. Stop raining on the parade, that Ghost. Stop raining on the parade, Ghost, for real. It is a lot of potential to make this happen. It's a lot of potential. I'm just saying, how often is Loma named? Yeah, he's fighting Richard Comey, right? So what do we know that trumps anything? A fight of this magnitude for the so-called quote-unquote undisputed when it comes to technical terms, they will make this fight. Both of these fights are at the end of 2021, and what better time to set up a fight on the calendar of 22? It's perfect, man. It's perfect. Kambosos is going to have a good selection because a few promotions going to throw money his way. Yeah, man, they're going to come his way, dog. Mo said Kambosos come across as a genuine person. I think he'll give Devin the opportunity. That's what I'm saying, Mo. I believe Devin, will see Kambosos in Vegas, and he will do it. I mean, now the fight isn't that far away, so they're gonna be hooking him up with some nice ice packs and everything, because he's gonna be looking like shit today. But I truly believe Kambosos, like you said, is a genuine type of dude who's gonna call Devin out. He's gonna call Devin out. It's not a bad thing for him calling Devin out. It's just, if we never got close to seeing Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney before, well, since Kambosos just upset Teo, this might be an easier route, bro. It might be people more willing to say, you know what, we can make some money off this fight, man. Kambosos put on a hell of a performance. The same way Teofimo did against Lomachenko. They say, hey, let's do this, and this. And the purse bid and all that debacle happened and all this other shit. It just fell hard for Teo. Like when they lost money and Triller defaulted on the purse bid and Matchroom picked it up. I mean, the plane was already in descent. It was turbulence right there. Now, to correct that shit and land that motherfucking plane, T.O. had to come in here after 3 delays and defeat George Kambosos. That wasn't the case. He came in hot. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Mayday, mayday, mayday. We have incoming, one wing. Left engine on fire. Mayday, mayday. Shit. That plane was smoking from miles away when T.O. came in that motherfucker. Golden Boy going to throw money at him for Ryan. Look, I'm going to be honest. I would go off what Mo just said. I don't see that team over there in Australia. I know he was riding the high. You know, people say shit. We heard Oscar Valdez join the Duck Masters Coalition. We've seen Sean Porter do it. The Errol Spence say he was gonna fight him next, and then we had people after on post fight say they're gonna do something and don't do it. Ryan Lyon Garcia. So I kind of believe Kambosos though. I believe he's gonna call out Devin Haney. We need to see that fight. Let's not change the storyline and close the book now. All because T.O. and he had a vociferous father who was talking his shit. Let's not take all the anger that you had for T.O. You got what you wanted. For those of you that weren't supporting T.O., you got what you wanted. He lost his titles. So therefore, since the titles are gone, you have to now not just talk about what happened last night, but you should be putting thumbnails out here for Devin to get his big shot at the lightweight division. That's what it's been about, right? When it was Devin Haney, T.O., Devin Haney ducking T.O., T.O. ducking Devin Haney, and all this. This is the biggest fight. This is the biggest fight. For the lightweights, Kambosos has the belts. He beat the man. Now it's time for Devin Haney. Devin Haney, Team Haney's been asking for this fight. Kambosos has the belts. It seems like an easier road to connect with right now. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happened. Thomas say the fight to make is Haney Kambosos. If Haney handles his business next week, the Boxing King archives on deck, man. Everyone and the WBC on social media calling Kambosos undisputed. The WBC pushing Devin to the back again. Hold that. Let me drink this coffee, Boxing King archives, because I just have to elaborate on that. Now, prior to this fight, I always mention T.O.'s being undisputed. Some outlets, some media segues was identifying him as undisputed and some wasn't. The dispute has always been, especially on YouTube, is from those individuals who really don't want to accept it, that boxing is changing, right? So to caveat off what Boxing King Archive said, if the WBC is calling Kambosos undisputed, something was terribly wrong when T.O. had the belts, because it switched up here and there and the other. You know what I'm saying? The WBC are opportunists like everybody else. They want to see big money fights, and they're getting all these sanctioning fees and all this other shit. It's just language. But my curiosity is, what are these naysayers that's on this YTC? What are the mainstream media going to say about that U word again? I've been saying it's undisputed. Kambosos is undisputed at lightweight. It has nothing to do with not recognizing Devin Haney as being a WBC world champion. It's nothing that I'm saying about that. Devin isn't Devin isn't at fault for the position on the WBC, somewhat portraying his title as a subordinate to the franchise championship. It's not his fault because Mauricio Suleiman enacted that. He created that belt for Canelo Alvarez, and it's trickled down. Now we've had 3 franchise champions. We have 3 franchise champions at lightweight division, people. 3. We had Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, and now we have George Kambosos. 3 in one fucking division. And you trying to tell me this ain't gonna change? It is gonna change, people. The franchise belt isn't going nowhere. We had 3 franchise champions that's a part of history. Lomachenko was the first franchise champion at lightweight. Teofimo petitioned, he beat Lomachenko. Kambosos must have petitioned too, and he beat Teo. Brown on boxing, salute WCS, salute. Brown on boxing on deck. D. Hodges says, see, when you don't fight Haney, you lose to lesser competition, karma. Hey, goddamn it, I gotta salute D. Hodges for sticking to the motherfucking script, man. D. Hodges always kept that same energy about Haney. I give him that. Always. D. Ray, karma spent the ring. In the world of youngest promoter in boxing history, I want at real undisputed. I agree, man. I agree. Boxing King Archives, I agree. Was I not pushing for the fight before Teo lost? I said, hey, if both of these individuals, Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, both win their respective bouts at the end of this year, 2022, the first semester, we should see a fight between Teofimo and Devin Haney. But Teofimo defaulted. You know what I'm saying? He lost his titles. Now we have one more in the shoot of a big name. Now, for the real hardcore Devin Haney fans, you really need to be pushing and promoting this young warrior. You really need to be pushing this fight. You can't let politics sit up here and dilute this shit and brush it off like it's lint on the floor, dog. You really need to push this fight. Push it the same way, but more energy than you was doing with Teofimo Lopez. But look, you have a different owner now. You have a different proprietor now in George Kambosos. George Kambosos does not have the same mindset as Teofimo Lopez when it comes down to it. His pops act totally different than Lopez Sr. They operate and move different. So you're not going to have the back and forth verbal handshakes and reneging and all this shit. I believe Kambosos really wants that last belt. And Devin wants all the belts. This is a huge opportunity for Devin Haney to explode. We're talking about reaching a new stratosphere in boxing. If Devin Haney is able to go in here and disperse the Jojo Diaz and set him up next year for a huge fight. This fight will be bigger, and it's a sleeper, but it'll be bigger than what people give it credit to right now at the end of this year. You know why? Because people might not have provided Devin Haney with, that exposure, when it came to him and T.O., because, he's critiqued by his resume and everything else. But in this right here with Kambosos, they can't use that shit. Especially if he goes in there and disperses Jojo Diaz, you can't use the same argument. Both of these guys are pretty much on the same playing field, except Kambosos has more belts than Haney. That's going to make for a damn good matchup, Shawty, for real. Same way Powers he did with AJ versus Wilder. There are exceptions when complexions and other factors. I agree with that. Look, I agree with a lot of politics. First of all, 2 different fighters. Okay, 2 different fighters. Teofimo Lopez wasn't a Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? And we have a lot more to think about when we talk about that particular fight. But like you said, he didn't have the complexion for the protection. We know that. And shout out to Deontay Wilder because he went through hell and back trying to motherfucking fight through that damn army. He was outnumbered. He just didn't see who was firing the shots. They was coming from all angles. Say, God damn, how do I protect myself? Shout out to the Bronze Bomber, shouting. Shout out to the man himself, man. SB90 Toe's corner last night was embarrassing. T.O.'s corner last night was embarrassing. Look, something else was going on with that corner. A lot more was going on with T.O. I'm being serious. It was a lot more than y'all can understand. As media, we can't go up here and put people personal shit out here. You know, because look, even boxers who doesn't have a motherfucking thing to do with it, they'll sit up here and get mad about it. I'm being serious. They get mad about it. I got some shit on my thumb drive that I can't release. It's good for me to know I have it, especially some shit with Caleb Plant. Man, I have some good shit with some fighters. Even T.O. Even Roy Jones. Roy Jones told me, I was back there recording one time. He said, "Don't put that out." He didn't have to say no more. He didn't have to say no more. He said, "Man, don't put that out." But I was there recording right next to him, dog. I mean, it's some shit. Man, bro, these fighters have stuff going on. They're combat competitors, man, and they have personal shit going on all the time. Real talk. Taloma's on the undercard of Haney versus George Kambosos. That's not bad. That's not bad putting Loma on the undercard, but I don't want to see Loma, waltz his way into the motherfucking spotlight again and fight Kambosos. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see it, bro. I don't think Lomachenko deserves that right now. Lomachenko's up here fighting Teofimo's leftovers, and Teo. He was hoping to get another fight with Teo. Teo is not even in the kitchen anymore. Kambosos is. And that shit's on motherfucking fire. The only name we want to see in the ring with Kambosos 2022 is Devin Haney. All these people that say they're Devin Haney, hardcore Devin Haney fans, you need to be promoting this today. Don't spend too much time talking about the ass whooping that Teo got. He got his ass whooped. And I'm a Teo fan. Teo got his ass beat last night. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Teo took that punishment. Even though he was pulling his AB. I won the fight. I'm not worried about anything else. And then he turned around and say, I should have dropped the belts. I knew he was having weight problems, but Teo pride, dog. His pride is not going to allow him to sit up here and accept defeat against a guy like Kambosos where the shit got super personal, man. These folks are going to try and steal the fight from Haney. But the Zone app has a big opportunity to make this Haney versus Kambosos fight. Brown on boxing. Everybody else in the live chat. Man, it's Sunday, man, and y'all have so much doubt that this fight cannot happen with Haney. What is going on? Don't you know if your overlay is what you've carried on, like it's almost like y'all carrying over a residual overlay from Teo and Devin Haney situation back and forth. And you seeing now y'all know how I felt about Deontay Wilder and AJ. Now you know why I felt the way I did against Deontay Wilder and Fury. This is a perfect example. When people get conditioned into a situation, Teo Devin Haney has went back and forth on social media. Bill's been on social media. Lopez Sr. was on social media. Now the fight's not going to happen because Teo doesn't have the motherfucking straps. Now that he don't have the straps no more, guess what? That bleed over from them pretty much outcasting Devin Haney. Now he has a better opportunity. Why? Because Kambosos may be that guy to advocate and say, this is the fight I want next. I want to clean out the entire division. And then for Devin Haney, they seem like they up to it. They say, okay, this is the fight we've been wanting. This is the biggest fight. Let's go. This is for everything. This is for the crowns. Now I'm gonna be absolutely honest. Devin Haney goes in here and outboxes the shit out of Kambosos without being caught. It elevates. Look, it elevates his career to a whole nother level. And this is why. You can admit that Devin Haney in the lightweight division has been playing catch up in a lot of conversations when it comes to Teo. Only because Teofimo had the belts. He was playing catch up. Only because Teo had the belts. What's that saying goes? It's not fun when the rabbits got the gun. Guess what? Teo Lopez Sr., they sit up here and play them games and admitted that they was going to fight Devin. This and then renege. Now the belts are in the hands of Kambosos, and Kambosos seems like he's willing. What if Devin Haney goes in here and beat Kambosos? He was able to do something that Teofimo Lopez wasn't. He was able to go in here and get all the belts and clear up any type of confusion. That's what I'm hoping for Devin Haney. I'm hoping that he's able to come from behind. Some people don't like saying they was from behind, but come from behind and win it all. Him winning all the belts will absolutely skyrocket Devin Haney's down Wall Street in boxing, man. Especially if he plans on moving up to 140. He will have all the belts. And Bill need to make sure they petition for the franchise just like Kambosos did. Loma last two Teo instead of Haney. Teo fought Kambosos. Lawson instead fighting Haney. I hope and pray we get undisputed next. Hey, man. Hey, I'm telling you to this day that language is already undisputed. I'm telling you. Hey, you can refute what I'm saying already. But grown ass people, they see things right in front of their face, but they act like at this point in time they want to be stubborn and don't want acknowledgement. Okay, it happens all the time in life, right? But in this case right here, we're talking about the WBC president implementing other franchise titles. The belt isn't going anywhere. So people who are still stuck on 4-belt era, 3-belt era, what's considered undisputed. What about the people who had 3 belts back in the day? Who was undisputed? What about the 2 belts? Boxing has always been one of those vehicles that continue to change. It continued to change, man. It changes its direction all the fucking time. The franchise belt is no different. You know what screwed up the franchise belt that people was tripping about? The lightweight division. Real talk. Canelo Alvarez did what he did. Nobody says anything about it. Nothing. If Canelo Alvarez would have went up there and unified 160, undisputed, guess what? People would have been calling him undisputed. Y'all know I'm telling straight up and down facts, man. If Canelo Alvarez would have went up here with the franchise belt and unified without that WBC belt, the WBC and everybody else that's big on Canelo would have been saying he's the undisputed champion. But since it's Scotty, I'm telling y'all, the language for the franchise, and you have every other strap, it's going to be a common language in the future for undisputed, bro. I promise you that. Facts. Hope he does, and he can get that fight. Cooking with Sir Senior on deck, man. I hope so too, bro. P said, if Devin get past JoJo, I hope he ignore Teo and don't even have these conversations with him. Ghosts do make an interesting point, even though we don't want to speak that into existence. In this case, as long as Eddie is there, I'm sure we would get undisputed. I hope and pray we do. I want that. We want it. We want it, Shawty. We want that. We got to sit up here and promote Devin Haney, man. You know, at one point in time, I was saying to myself as a black father and son tandem, it's certain things they need to do. It's certain things they should do. And then, you know, I'm out here watching Bill in these YouTube streets. You know what I'm saying? Promoting and grinding and low crawling and shit. And you say, it's not like I never had respect for Bill. It's just the fact that why should he be out here in the YouTube streets? And he basically seen what was going on. It's hard for Team Haney out here. And I seen that when these motherfuckers wouldn't even step up and fight him. They wouldn't even fight Haney. Haney, okay, Devin up here thinking, I'm going to get this fight. Nope, they ducking. Nah, Ryan Garcia, nah, I'm going to get my attorneys on him. I ain't fighting him. What kind of bullshit is this? Jojo Diaz, nah, I ain't fighting Haney. I'm going over there to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, sorry, amigo. I'm sorry, amigo. I was just capping. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight. You know, I'm going to take some time off, mental issues. I'm going to go to the beach with my girl. Yeah. So Jojo Diaz had the motherfucking swallow hard, didn't he? Bill, I apologize, but I need that fight. They had to come back around and fight the person that they ducked to. Jojo ducked him. So I kind of like took a different stance. I'm like, that's fucked up. Like these cats out here in the lightweight division will talk about Haney's resume, but it comes down to a point. Okay, if you feel his resume is subpar, then fight him. Nah, these motherfuckers are flying the other way, goddammit. They're flying the other way. Nah, I don't want that fight. Jojo Diaz know Ryan Garcia was an easier opponent than Devin. That's why he didn't want to smoke. Haney was at the fight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. Why not? I mean, him and Bill usually at the fights anyway. Andrew Charles on deck. I hope they get this fight though, bro. Seriously. Because I do believe that it's been a lack of respect as far as Devin being acknowledged. But I will put it out there plain and simple. And it's just my opinion, man. Opinions are always going to have a conflict of interest from somebody. But Mauricio Suleiman has pretty much insinuated. He has put it out there that Devin Haney's coveted WBC, which boxing throughout the years in boxing, that is the coveted belt. That is the hierarchy of the sanctioning bodies when it comes to damn world championships. He's taken upon himself to devalue that belt for a brand new model. He trying to put the franchise on the lot. That lot is out here with all these divisions, and he's slowly but surely easing this motherfucking franchise belt on the lots. The one thing about what he's doing, he's putting it out on the lot, and he's trying to put a high sticker price on it, but the people ain't buying that shit. It's tough. You see a motherfucking belt out here with that high sticker price. You say, why is this belt here? I mean, it doesn't hold more value than this older belt right here. This is a classic right here. This WBC Devin has is a classic, but you're trying to bring this new model up here. I'm just not feeling it. It doesn't have the same value or more, but it will. It's going to. It's going to, people. I'm serious. The franchise belt is going to be in the language, bro. Where there's a dispute, there won't be no dispute. True. I agree with that. It won't be any more dispute if these two fight. And one of the big reasons I wanted to be Haney, because he has him and Bill walk through the storm of the TO storm, being able to get to the destination first. You know what I'm saying? Through the IBF traffic. Not being able to step in the ring with T.O., seeing T.O. lose all his crowns, and now Team Haney has a better position. They have a better look. That shit is much brighter than what they had with T.O. holding the belts. The halo is goddamn glowing, y'all. He get past JoJo Diaz. Now the talk should be strictly Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. That is absolutely cut and dry. And Devin Haney, he goes in here and wins all these straps. He would have came from behind, chasing what Teofimo had to holding all the motherfucking crowns. You can't get any better finish than that. And what's so amazing about the future when you prognosticate something like this is the fact that even though T.O. did it before Devin, if Devin comes up from behind and crosses and he's able to hold all these straps, he's going to have his own shine and glory when it comes down to it. Because to the mind of viewers and boxing fans, they're going to look at him with all the straps, every last one of them. It won't be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All the pictures, all the promo, everything. He comes in here and cleans out 135. He is absolutely the last man standing. He is the sole survivor in this bitch. He would have came from behind and won the biggest prize of them all. And that's what needs to be out here promoting Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. That's having confidence that Devin Haney goes in here and defeats JoJo. Kambosos is about to get paid. He is. Pete said, I made a comment earlier, but I definitely agree. We need to the man Kambosos and Haney. Did I skip over it? Let me see where you made that comment at. Let me see. Or it may have been a comment I read already. I didn't know nothing about Kambosos, but I respect his homers off this fight. Yeah, I didn't see anything else up there. Boxing Arcade said, I want to see Haney versus Kambosos 2022. The Zone will be the perfect platform for $19.99. W says, do you think the Zone will raise the price for lightweight undisputed? Haney should still fight Teofimo after undisputed. I'm not sure about the back end of it, but raising the price, the Zone has a reason in that footprint as to why it's $19.99. Of course, a fight of that magnitude. I mean, we're talking about the bleed over, y'all. We're talking about the bleed over from T.O. and Devin. Now it's Kambosos, Devin. The aura has changed, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of cloudy smoke and shit. People kept fanning back and forth when it came to damn Lopez and Haney. Because every now and then you get them together and they're talking about, hey, you're gonna fight, you're gonna fight, you're gonna fight, you're gonna fight, shake on it, shirk on it. And then, okay, you agree. All that meant nothing. It meant nothing. Because the people decided to say, you know what? Fool me once, fool me twice, and all this other shit. They weren't trying to hear the bullshit no more. So now that Kambosos has the belts, you take a guy from Australia, different country, right? His mentality is different. He proved, just like T.O. proved to Lomachenko, that he's that guy. So he defeated T.O., battered him, punished him. Now he comes up here, and you're going to have Devin Haney with the belt, and people are going to be like, this is an interesting fight, man. Like Kambosos got power. He dropped T.O. And then they're going to bleed that over to Devin Haney. Can Devin Haney fight 12 rounds without getting caught by Kambosos? Can he outbox Kambosos? Can Devin Haney? It's highly possible for Devin to go in there and outbox Kambosos, bro. But Kambosos, hey, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. If Teofimo could not stop Kambosos, it's going to be a boxing match for Devin Haney. Seriously, because T.O. landed some hard-ass shots on Kambosos. And even though he dropped him, they both dropped each other one time. Man, I'm telling you, old boy has a chin on him. But Jorge Linares, I'm telling you, Devin Haney go in there and fight that in fighting like he did with Jorge Linares. He was boxing Linares his ears off in that bitch, boy. He will have to do the same with Kambosos. Kambosos is a smart ass fighter, though, man. To me, if Haney becomes undisputed, he should stay at 135 for at least 2 more fights. Ryan and Tank at 135 are big money fights. You know what, Brown on Boxing? Yes, sir. The reason why I say that is because Team Haney is all about the dollar bill, right? You pick up all the straps, fight nothing but top tier fights. If he can run that gauntlet with Tank Davis or Ryan, it would even further elevate Devin Haney to the point when he go to 140, his Wall Street is going to be through the fucking roof, y'all. You're talking about if Haney goes in here and defeats Kambosos, swipes all the belts, and he sets up a big fight with Tank or Ryan Garcia, which Ryan Garcia, right? Devin outboxes Ryan Garcia. It'd be good for Ryan's followers and shit, but he's giving Ryan his first loss. Hands down, point blank, period. Ryan ain't winning that fight. So he has Ryan on his resume. He has Jojo Diaz on his resume. He has George Kambosos on his resume for undisputed, clean out everything, right? Then he goes ahead and put Ryan Garcia on his resume. And if he chooses to fight Gervonta, he has Gervonta on his resume. There's no more dispute. There's no more argument about resumes because he would have built up his opposition, the top tier opposition in Devin Haney. So when he decides to relocate from 135 to 40, his price tag is went up. He's coming up there with the right type of baggage. He coming in that bitch with damn full-size suitcases and trucks. He say, hey, let's talk about who's gonna be my first opponent. You know, let's talk about that. Now I want to take a drive around the neighborhood. You know, see how 140 looks and everything. See what we're gonna stop off first. The Boxing King Archive say, okay, I read that already. Let me put that up there, man. Sue you, man. We need an interview with WCS. Short. Appreciate that, D-Ray. Rank Tank Stevenson and Haney. They're in different divisions. So at this point in time, I would have to go Tank Haney Stevenson. I would go Tank Haney Stevenson. The reason why I would go Tank Haney Stevenson is obvious. Tank has did what he did at 30. You know, he did what he did at 35, even though it's minimal. And him coming off that damn Mario Barrios fight at 40. Not the fact that he's a 3-division champion, but how he's finished the fights. He stopped Leo Santa Cruz in brutal fashion, y'all. He stopped Kambosos, hunting him down, slayed him. He broke down a bigger Mario Barrios, slayed him. Come on, man. Y'all got to give Gervonta Davis. I don't give a damn what video out there of him trying to explain about who fight the best. Bro is a bad dude. Gervonta is a bad dude. Period. Shakur Stevenson, I call him the Emperor of Boxing. He's on his way up. Shakur Stevenson is a motherfucking a grand student in this motherfucker, the way he thinks. I seen Shakur Stevenson wrestling before his championship fight with Jamel Herring. I got it on video. That's fact. I seen Shakur Stevenson wrestling. Him and Terrence Crawford was wrestling, bro. Them dudes are built different. He has a championship fight, and these two out here wrestling, man. That's how much confidence he has. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you something you may not know. Now I have witnessed Terrence Crawford on championship fights. I think I've witnessed his 3 times wrestling around with his people before a fight. He's built like that, dog. Brown on boxing say Devin Haney got some business to handle next week, and that Kambosos fight, is my opinion, should be announced the second Devin wins. I agree with that. I absolutely agree. Get the shit out there. Don't do that Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence bullshit. Announce the fight, goddammit. That will allow the media to grab hold of that motherfucker and start promoting it. Wow, we finally have the fight that we've been looking for. We didn't really take it serious with the Lopez Haney situation. But now with the Kambosos Haney, yeah, they about that. Kambosos want that shit. $1 billion bill like this video. I appreciate it, D-Ray. J.A. Dixon on deck. He'll have the belts, but cleaning out the division is another thing. Gotta definitely beat more than 2 people to claim that. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Gotta beat more than 2 people. Be more specific, Jay. Oh, you talking about Haney. You're right. He got to beat JoJo Diaz and he has to beat Kambosos. Hey, that's what it is. It's just the same as Nakatani, Comey, and Lomachenko. He had to defeat 3 people to get that notoriety. W says, I love my sister, the Wolt. No disrespect to her. W says, but she even called George Kambosos undisputed. And the sister is an actual 2-weight undisputed champion. Fans were upset at Carissa on her tweet. Hey, Boxing King Archives, listen, as much of an attitude I say Carissa Shields have, I gotta respect her athleticism and her greatness as a fighter, right? I can't go against what she said. She called a man undisputed. She called him undisputed. Now, I don't know if she called Teo undisputed, but you can't sit up here and not call Teo undisputed and then call Kambosos undisputed. That's just hating. That's just being extremely biased, and you're being selective with who you favor. Period. You being selective at who you fucking favor, dog. I call Teo from the start he picked up the belts all the way to now undisputed. I call Kambosos undisputed. It ain't no changing. What is so important about Devin Haney is he get past JoJo Diaz, man. He has the opportunity to reach another stratosphere in boxing, bro. Devin Haney has the opportunity to reach new heights that only he's up there. He get the opportunity to clean out the entire lightweight division, sanitize that bitch, and close the fucking door behind him. Whether he choose to open it back up and fight somebody, that's up to him. But he doesn't have to. He wins, he beats Kambosos, which will be a tough fight. Vacate them bitches and move up the damn 140. He don't have to defend them. He would have went through JoJo Diaz. You know what I'm saying? He would have fought some good fights. Let's mention Jorge Linares, right? Let's throw in the JoJo Diaz fight. And let's throw in the Kambosos fight. Now, if by chance he chooses to fight a Ryan Garcia before he leaves lightweight, of course that'll be much easier than Gervonta Davis. I'm just being honest with you. Ryan Garcia he's a flat-footed fighter. He loves loading up on that damn lead left hook. I mean, I see Devin Haney outboxing, but that's getting too far ahead. Shout out to Pete Davenport. Much appreciation, my brother. Thank you very much, man, for the donation. He says, you're definitely right, World. If Devin beat JoJo, every YouTube thumbnail should say Devin versus Kambosos. We have to push that fight. We have to, bro. I mean, what are we doing? Why don't I see more thumbnails up today? Look, it makes no point, right? I know people always like to, they want to climb on their favorite fighter. It makes no point talking about what happened to Tio over and over again. He got his ass beat. I mean, there's no need to jump on here and talk about if Tio was exposed or not. Tio was, everything that we saw for ourselves on TV. We already know that. So there's no need to get on here and talk over, talk over hours and hours at a time. It's not going to bring Tio back to the ring to defend his honor. But you have to understand, Tio ran the gauntlet with Nakatani, Comey, and Lomachenko, and he won. So therefore, Kambosos stepped up for the grand prize. He won. Now, I'm hoping Devin Haney's able to step up and punch his ticket. With all the support Haney has on YouTube and mainstream media, this will be the biggest fight. It cuts away all the fucking red tape and all that. So I agree with you, Pete. They should be talking about this damn Devin Haney fight, man, if it happens. Blazing casual and temporary boxing fans, Sunday brunch style. For real, man. Talk to him, D-Ray. Talk to him, man. Haney got the twos and the IQ. That is absolutely correct. He does, man. Look, they've been saying for a long time on, Devin Haney and who he emulates. I tell people to stop putting these black fighters in a huge shadow of Floyd Money Mayweather. Just let them fight their fight. Devin Haney is one of those fighters that come close to mirroring, and emulating Floyd Mayweather's lifestyle as a boxer. His IQ is at the top of the food chain when it comes to damn boxing. His being a pure boxer in the sport, Devin Haney exudes that, right? So the only thing we need for Devin Haney and Bill to get this motherfucking ticket, that's it. We need to go out there and go finish Jojo Diaz and to get this ticket for the biggest lightweight fight. This is a huge fight. And you might say Kambosos, oh, he ain't nobody. You know how Kambosos say, who the fuck is this guy? Nobody know Kambosos. They know him now. And if you are a temporary that don't give a fuck about the performance that Kambosos put on against Tio, you don't even care. You don't respect the sport, dog. He knocked down Tio in the first round, dog. And he switched it up. He was flat-footed early on, He was trying to be a counterpuncher, and then he picked up the pace. He started moving around to get Tio to chase him. He changed it up a bit. Tio was going in there reckless with his hands down, trying to fight on the inside and use his power. No, dog. You was acting rambunctious last night, Tio, for real. Like, you was fighting with your hand down. You looked tired, and it looked like you wasn't totally prepared for the war that was in front of you. And you lost. You lost it. D-Ray say, no rematch clause. No. I don't think there's no rematch clause in that fight. Now, Kambosos did say, you can rematch me in Australia in front of 80,000. I'm pretty sure Kambosos, riding that high, he would want to match. He would want to fight Tio. But I'm telling you, that'd be the worst thing for Kambosos to do. I'm serious. That'd be the worst thing for Kambosos to rematch Tio in his hometown and Tio get the belts back. Because you're not going to get the same Tio you got this time. The fight dragged out for long periods of time. They was touring that bitch through the motherfucking media. They hook it up. Oh, hey, we taking this fight. What? Oh, the shit's been changed? Who's going to pay me for this tow? They drop that bitch off in the middle of the highway and move on. Oh, we picking up this fight again? Okay. Oh, Tio got COVID? Oh, shit. Let me pull this over in the merchant lane, drop this bitch off. Man, I swear to God, man, this was an omen. Look, this was an omen last night, dog. I'm serious. It was an omen, dog. Wrestling in the ring like a pit. I called Devin the undisputed champion. Man, it's nothing wrong with calling, whoever the undisputed. You know what I'm saying? But Devin get these belts, he can say for himself and everybody else can say Devin is the undisputed champion. That undisputed would go along with having a franchise belt. Take all the medals. Take all the hardware, bro. Take all the medals. Petition. Don't just go in there and fight Kambosos and don't petition for the franchise. Petition for everything that you have to. Petition for that shit. When you win it, you hold all that shit. You and Bill hold all of it. You leave Kambosos butt ass naked. Just like I say, Kambosos, he goes in there and petition for it. He did. T.O.'s not the franchise champion anymore. It's a wrap. It's smart, dog. Come on, that franchise belt put mud in the water. It's a reason they didn't have T.O. listed as undisputed the same way they never had Loma listed as undisputed because they weren't. Now, J.A., I'm about to disclose something to you, right? So did Lomachenko ever have the IBF title? Or did T.O. have the IBF title? Last time I checked, Richard Coleman was the champion that T.O. defeated. So why would they call Lomachenko the undisputed just because he had the franchise belt, homie? You know what I'm saying? And then furthermore, certain individuals did not recognize T.O. as the undisputed. Just because they didn't put him up there with a 4-belt era, it makes all the sense when you break it down line for line. That was the 4-belt era, dog. The franchise belt wasn't a part of who you saw up there with Oleksandr Usyk, Canelo, Jermaine Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Josh Taylor, Terrence, motherfucking Bud Crawford. I mean, T.O.'s criteria doesn't set, it's not to be included in that. That's a whole different type of literature right there, bro. You can't put T.O. up there with the franchise. You can't do that. That was strictly for them individuals. Now, whoever else out here that don't want to disclose and don't want to announce that he's undisputed, so be it. But there were certain entities out here that identified T.O. as undisputed. And look, I'm not even gonna front Jay this. He don't even have the belts no more, shawty. So now Kambosos is the undisputed, dog. That's a new argument. That's a new argument, dog. Pete say maybe Shields pushing the narrative because the media did it for T.O. and maybe she's just capping for Kambosos to get under people's skin. Hey, potentially you might be right, man. You might be right. But we know Carissa, she's a 2 division, so she has bragging rights. So as the GOAT speaks, the GOAT will be heard. That's all I can say. It doesn't matter, dog. Look, to be honest with you, D-Ray, I only had T.O. winning about 2 or 3 rounds, man. I had some of the rounds pretty close, but definitive rounds. Of course, he's going to win the damn 9th round where he knocked Kambosos down, of course. But, it's no way you're going to hear me say, D-Ray, I had him win the first round, D-Ray. I had him win the first round. Now, if it was competitive like that and T.O. was knocked down at the, the last, 15 seconds of the fight, we'll be talking a different story. But nah. T.O. lost that fight, no matter what he was trying to pull off in the post conference. Boxing King Archive said Devin pushing real undisputed. He want to put the hashtag real undisputed. Hey, I like that though. I like that. You need to keep that. You need to keep that hashtag pushing, dog. You know what I'm saying? Look, that hashtag he just put up here, real undisputed. It only pertains to the lightweight division. Because nobody else is in that position. Jermell Charlo is not in that position right now. Canelo Alvarez definitely is not in that position. And we know the welterweight isn't in that position just yet. Look at Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is without the franchise. So it's clarity there, right? Period. So I like the hashtag, bro. For real, I like it. He said, Devin pushing a real undisputed. We have to put that hashtag in all of our Twitter, IG, YouTube, LOL, and on TikTok for the young kids. I'll do that shit, dog. It makes sense. It makes sense. For real. Respect to your boss for keeping it 100 FTO. Lil Flex Lewis on deck, man. I ain't saying fuck T.O., man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that. You know, listen, I'll say this, Lewis. You know, Ben, I had the opportunity to roll with the fams several times, you know, before he had all this glory. People change, man. People change when they get shit. And a lot of people seen that T.O. was changing behind the scene. That's no cap. I know a lot about it. I ain't just picking up. Look, I ain't like motherfuckers over there, you know, and acting like they support T.O. because, you know, they hate Devin all of a sudden. That's not me. That's not me. I'm saying I'm still support T.O., but T.O. did change when he got the belts, and he was going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's fucking different. But Kambosos beat his ass yesterday. Period. Kambosos gave him that work. Trap Media USA on deck, man. What it do? Almost undisputed champion. No, I like the real undisputed, bro. I like that. I like that hashtag, man. For real. I like that hashtag. D-Ray say, let's go 150. Absolutely. You know, shout out to Team Williams. Absolutely. December 11th on deck, man. You know, shout out to Team Williams. We definitely need that win against John Bowser, man. Y'all check it out for sure. Let me ask y'all this, man. I know we're leapfrogging over JoJo Diaz, and this is very disrespectful. Serious, it's disrespectful for me to come up here and leapfrog over JoJo Diaz. But listen, I'm only going off the performance that he had with Javier Fortuna. So I have I believe, I have a percentage of a right to say, you know what? The JoJo Diaz that fought Javier Fortuna, man, cannot win against Devin. So Devin beats JoJo, right? He gets to fight with Kambosos. What would make more sense when it comes down to Devin, when it comes to the zone and having that fight? What would generate the most revenue? How should the fight be agreed upon? Because Devin's going to get his money regardless. You know what I'm saying? And he's not a free agent. He's still with the zone. He's still knotted up with the zone. So he's still there. Where should he have a fight to generate and maximize his popularity and viewership? Where should Devin Haney have that fight for Undisputed? You think it should be Vegas? I think it should be Vegas, bro. But we're talking about Eddie Hearns. We're talking about all the other stuff that goes along with that. I'm just saying, for Devin to go over to Australia and fight Kambosos would be tough. But goddamn it, if he's able to go in there and pick those titles up in the backyard of Kambosos, what? like Russell Westbrook. What? Nigga, what? If he's able to go in the backyard of Kambosos and pick up all the straps, I'm telling you, dog, it will elevate Haney to a different type of hierarchy when it comes to damn boxing legacy. Especially that's his single most division that he's competed in, the lightweight division. If he's able to accomplish the shit, dog, he would have came from behind and got the grand prize, bro. T.O. got there first, but Devin Whitaker came from behind and cleared out everything. His pot of gold would be that much heavier. That's facts, bro. His father was talking a lot of smack, calling Bill and Dev N-words and being disrespectful. Hashtag fake over. God damn. Listen, big dog. I can't even go against what you said, man. That shit happened. Look, that shit happened, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Man, I want to say some shit so bad about Lopez Sr. I do, man. He pissed me off so bad, man. I can't even go against what you're saying. I agree, man. Shout out to the OG in the building, man. That guy Eclipse 330. What's good with you, Mike? Tio don't want or deserve any rematch, to be honest. You know how I feel about deserving there, Mike. I mean, when you talk about that word deserve in boxing, we also have to look at what they did to get to that point in their career. You know what I'm saying? If they're in a point of their career where they fighting a big fight and they lose, you know, it's one of those things where they fought their ass off to get to that point in their career. And when they lose, why should it take them so long to get back to it? Like they was just on the mountaintop. So you're saying they have to start off with ground zero and climb up to the top again. I don't see it, man, because once you get to the top, you should get treated like Manny Pacquiao. They weren't using that shit against Manny Pacquiao. Like Manny Pacquiao going over here getting flatlined by one man with Marquez, and people weren't looking at him like, oh man, you know, Manny don't deserve shit. They was, come on, man. Manny Pacquiao stepping in at his age against Keith Thurman for a title. As old as dirt he's look, Manny is about 60 in boxing years, bro. I didn't hear too many people saying Manny Pacquiao don't deserve to be in there with Keith Thurman. No, man. I think he got what he worked for all his career. W says Devin started that hashtag on his Twitter. Okay. All right. I didn't see it, man. I don't follow Devin on Twitter. I'm not a Twitter junkie just yet. They're gonna try to rob Devin in Australia fighting. Absolutely, man. Like, dude, you gotta look at it like this. There's been individuals that go in the backyard of their opposition and get the victory. Australia is a different beast, y'all. For real. I ain't gonna lie. Australia is a different beast. I don't know, man. I'm just saying the team Haney. Who's going to be arranging that shit? Who's going to be negotiating that? And one thing I can say about Bill, he ain't just going to just put Devin in a position to fail. If they talking about that Australia in front of 80,000, the team Haney, and Bill gonna be like, well, let's hold on, talk about this for a minute. Talk about this, right? You know, my son was champion for Kambosos, won those titles. You know, he has more experience. He has more tenure in the championship. You know, light than Kambosos now. So you got to give him some credit. You just can't say, oh, we got to go over there and fight you. Use a mandatory. I say use a mandatory. We got to make this work out for the both of us now. Period. We got to make it work for the both of us. I don't think Australia is where it's supposed to be. We need to have this over here in Vegas where all the big fights is. And then George goes say, well, what do you mean? There's no way we can have it in Vegas. That's your backyard. We don't feel comfortable. We might get robbed. Well, see. We feel the same way about going over there to Australia now. You know what I'm saying? We feel like we're going to get robbed too. Man, that's going to be a tough negotiation process for them too, dog. It's going to be tough. Put it this way. If Haney can run this gauntlet, though, just with Jojo Diaz and Kambosos, I would say this. If you get the titles and you want to make another big paycheck with Ryan, cool. But I'm telling you, I know I'm looking far ahead, but I'm just saying for Haney, I'm gonna be absolutely honest. It will catapult him into a higher talking point than Tio when he defeated Lomachenko. I'm serious. Because he would have cleaned out everything that the division has to offer. All the belts. Point blank, period. He would have everything. You know, when you look in through a vacant home, it's up for sale, and you look through the blinds and ain't shit in there. That's what he would have done, cleaned out the entire piece of property. That property and residence being the lightweight division, y'all. But D-Ray say fake over. Man, it's gotten interesting after last night. Real talk. I don't have time to spend the whole entire day, talking about what happened to T.O. I just don't. It's a waste of my energy. T.O. got beat. He was battered, bruised, punished. You know what I'm saying? The enforcement was serious from Kambosos. He did what he had to do. And I'll take nothing away from Kambosos. Real talk. I take nothing away from him. But whatever's going on in T.O.'s head, he's still young in the game, 16-1. And he has a lot of fight left in him. Boxing fans need to stop just tossing these motherfuckers out to the recycle bin like they trash, bro. Just because they lose once. I mean, though I don't like to use this scenario, believe me, I don't. But Jamel Charlo lost his shit, shedded tears, and came back and knocked out Tony Harrison. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his career wasn't over then. And from what I hear, he's supposed to step back in the ring in February and fight Brian Castano, which is a very, very tough fight. Just because somebody lose once, you can't cast them out, man, and put a bullet in them. And I say you can't goddamn kneecap them. Put a bullet in their knee and say, you know what? You disappointed me. You deserve to be out here. And you know what? I'm not going to take your life. I'm just going to goddamn have your ass limping out here in the pasture because you couldn't own up to what we needed you for. You can't cast these motherfuckers out the pasture for one loss, dog. One loss, man. You want to cast them out. How many fighters make more money than Devin with George Kambosos? Tank Stevenson, Ryan too. It all depends on how it's promoted and what is the PPP infrastructure. Tank can make a lot of money if he fights Shakur Stevenson. Tank can make a lot of money fighting Ryan Garcia. But once again, the arrangement is different. I don't really get into the damn monetary aspect because that's just not what I do. I don't like goddamn pocket watching grown ass men that's out here competing. They out here getting paid for shit that I have no contribution to. Real talk. I don't pocket watch these fighters. I don't care what they're getting paid, really. I just talked about the time when T.O. negotiated his worth with Lomachenko. Negotiation is cool, but I don't really care about the money because I'm not getting a cent of what they're making, bro. But Gervonta, I don't know why people look. Floyd is a gift and a curse when it comes down to it, because for what he was able to do in boxing, people will provide him all the adulations, period. But when it comes down to his pupil, his A1, his cash cow Gervonta, people are now trying to say, oh, you just moving a certain way because Floyd scared to let you do. Look, you might be white. You got to be damn meticulous in going out. You got to be very, very smart, dog, in how you moving in these boxing streets. And I will say this once and 10 times over. Boxing does not have a retirement ceremony. They do not present you with paperwork saying that you're going to receive this for the rest of your life. That's not boxing, people. That's not boxing as we know it right now. Now, there's certain people that I know that's trying to set up and provide unions for boxing to pretty much provide that after that post-career type of compensation or residual stipend that a boxer can get. They're trying their best to make it happen. It's tough, man, because they ain't trying to hear that shit in boxing. So when it comes to money, I'm all for a boxer making as much money as they possibly can. Fuck it. And with the money they make, you need to open up a business. You need to do something. You need to invest. You need to do something, bro. So I don't pocket watch these fighters. I don't. But they should try to make as much money as they possibly can. Now, when it comes to you and legacy, you don't want to really talk yourself out of belts if it's dealing with your legacy and you're still, building those structures and climbing that ladder. You need to make sure you make the right decisions, man. You don't want to price yourself out of a situation that can get you belts. At the end of the day, you want to be somewhere close to the Hall of Fame when your time comes. And if you can be a first ballot, then put yourself in that position now while you're active. Ref raised both hands. It's not the loss, it's how you get up. Yeah, it's definitely how you get up, man. But in this boxing game, you know well as I do, D-Ray, you riding high, man, like you're levitating, bro. You're levitating. You get they say it's a difference, right? It's the difference between leading from the front and being able to be in such a high position where you're looking down on people. Those are two different points of leadership. If you really think about what I just said, you'll figure it out. It's a difference between leading from the front and you're on the ground level and elevating yourself where you're looking down on those same people who's trying to find out how the fuck you are higher than you are right now. They're trying to find out, how do I get to that elevation right there? I see the leader in front of me. He's in front, but he's on the same level as I am. But when you see somebody who's levitating above you and they looking down, you want to get to where they at because the picture's different. Shit, the picture's motherfucking different, dog. Definitely, I want to, I want people out here to promote this fight, man. But we also got to promote Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz. I mean, it's coming up real soon. I'm so looking past this fight. It's disrespectful, dog. I mean, it's disrespectful because look, I look at it like this. Jojo didn't initially choose Devin. He chose Ryan, but then he had to come back and see to get that money. So he said, "Oh shit, man, I got to go back there." So now he's back. I don't hold full value to him catching him on the rebound. Let me return back to Team Haney to get this fight since Ryan Garcia doesn't know what the fuck he wants in life right now. He's doing a movie. You know what I'm saying? He's out here trying to find out who he is. He's looking goofy as shit. Now Jojo Diaz, he had to go back and fight Devin. Now, make no mistake about it. Diaz is a tough opponent. And, I like Jojo. I don't think he can go in there and shock the world like Kambosos just did. And, Kambosos did the opposite of what I thought he would do. I thought Kambosos would go out there in the early round and try to prove a point when, in fact, Teo was the one who did it. Against Devin. Hold on for a minute. So y'all do me a favor, man. Y'all go out here and look at these channels and get in their live chat and tell them to push this fight because it's huge. It's huge, man. It's huge. Period. I mean, this is the opportunity for all the Devin Haney, the hardcore Devin Haney fans, is to give him that push in the back, that support, to do something that wasn't able to be accomplished in the lightweight division. And that's with the franchise belt in existence. He has the opportunity to do what nobody else was able to do up to this point. That's to swipe all the belts from the franchise, WBC, WBA, IBF, Ring, WBO, all that shit. He has the opportunity to come home with everything, a fully loaded cachet of hardware that's all his. And it will change his career. You ain't going to be able to tell Devin anything if he's able to accomplish this. You ain't going to be able to tell him shit, dog. When he do lead the division, he has one or two options. He can, if he's able to accomplish that mission, he can defend them or vacate and move on. He don't have to prove to the people that he can defend the belts. He can then get off of them and move. Move on to big and better things because you did everything you need to do at lightweight division. So, building them, this is what they've been waiting for, this opportunity. Even though it haven't materialized, as you would say, it's so far away. We still have the New Year's and we heading into 2022. All we can do is speak on it. Let your voices be heard. This is what a lot of people was talking about. Like, hey, it's here now, goddammit. T.O. don't have the belts no more. Kambosos has said he's showing up. So I believe Kambosos is going to be in Vegas, unlike Errol Spence, who was in Vegas and refused to step in the ring. I believe Kambosos is going to be there to call out Devin Haney. I do. I believe it 100%. Now, if this motherfucker is capping and he don't call out Devin Haney post-fight, I don't know if he said he was going to get in the ring, but he should. You know what I'm saying? Because Devin's been in the ring. Devin has been in the ring post-fight. So it ain't like it's something different. So goddamn Kambosos, if you want to further, your fan base, build your fan base over here in the US and build up a potential fight between you and Devin, get in the fucking ring after Jojo Diaz, dog. Get in the ring and y'all talk y'all shit. But don't be a Ryan Garcia now. Devin, don't say, okay, we good. And then get home and settle in for a week and say, you know what? I'm going to try to see what's going on with Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nah, dog. We seen that shit with Ryan Garcia too much, dog. Fuck that. It's not the loss. It's how you get up. And if that is indeed the case, then why the fans don't allow these fighters to get up? Why they don't allow them to get up then? These cats, they pick and choose who should get off the canvas and get praised for it. And then the ones who hit the canvas, they look at them like, man, you ain't ready for this shit. You gotta keep it consistent. Like, you can't sit up here and praise a back and forth battle where both fighters are getting dropped and you praise the shit out of them and then turn around and denigrate someone for getting dropped once when they was dominating the entire fight. You know what I'm saying? You can't go pick out people knockdowns rather in a fight and say that's their entire career and that's all you should focus on. I mean, I don't think that's fair. I mean, you have to look at entire fights. And sometimes people, if the fighter's not of interest to them, they're not going to look at their entire fight. That's what I'm saying. Closing out this year, we got Michael Williams Jr. going in there. Of course, people are going to look at his resume. We already been there, done that. His pops was on there. 150 was on here the other night. And them some good people. It's just the individuals that hear me talking about Michael Williams. They might hear some other people talking about him on IG or whatever. You just can't look at his entire career and pick out a fight that happened years ago. You can't pick out that fight without looking at the entire fight. And then the fact that I was in the building and knew that he had scored a knockdown, I just wanted to wait till the right time to put it out there. I just want to see who was going to latch on to that information when BoxRec said it was an 8-round? It don't matter how many times he was knocked down. On his BoxRec at the end of the day says he won the fight. And it was an 8-round fight, right? And I'm going to end it with this, with the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford situation. That shit with me and me supporting Bud and what I say about Errol Spence don't have shit to do about hate, y'all. I mean, y'all absolutely making it about hate because y'all kind of agitated a bit on how I speak on it. Y'all have the right to your own opinion. Y'all have the right to your own opinion when it comes to those two. But it's pretty transparent on who was calling for undisputed at welterweight. That's Errol Spence. Has he came any closer to getting the shit done? No, he hasn't. Because he can't stay in the ring long enough to make this shit happen. Every time you put a mic in front of his face, he want to talk about numbers. But if you talk about numbers, you ain't really trying to make the fight. People know they damn wrong for continuing to say that Errol Spence is a boogeyman, dog. This ain't motherfucking October, dog. Y'all need to let that shit go. He ain't a motherfucking boogeyman of shit. A boogeyman to me, canceling out their opponents. You know, we look at Jason, we look at Freddie, they be canceling out their opponents, dog. So when you want to put the comparison, who has been canceling out who? Shit, Terrence Crawford's been canceling out all his opponents at welterweight. Y'all can't sit up here and continue to say that that old boy's a boogeyman, bro. Just because he want to look like Archie Bunker doing fights, dog. Between fights, he want to be Archie Bunker and pick up all that weight. You can't sit up here and praise that man for that. You can't sit up here and break down his fight with Sean Porter and say, you know what? Before the stoppage, who gives a fuck about the stoppage? Because you get the same people up here saying it only takes one punch to change a fight. It only takes one punch. And then when that one punch presents itself and it concludes and the results are in and it's a knockout, then they say, well, you know, I really didn't like that guy. Yeah, he got a lucky punch off. It wasn't a lucky punch, bro. Y'all are so afraid to release your support for Errol Spence based off his performances alone. Y'all cannot sit up here and give a clear understanding that you're not satisfied with what he's been doing. Like he beat Danny Garcia like he was supposed to. And this is the most hypocritical thing that I never mentioned because I don't pocket watch people, right? I don't pocket watch, right? But check this out, though. When it came to Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence always want to talk about money, right? By 80, 20, all that shit, right? But check this out, though. I hear all his pundits, you know what I'm saying? I see the strings dangling back and forth, and they got down, hey, hello, hey, hello, hey, hello, hey, hello. It's just like Sesame Street. I see all the strings dangling and shit. The puppet show, right? And I hear all them talking about money and what Terrence Crawford don't fucking deserve. I hear that shit all the time, right? And then I hear these same people, if they want to talk about resumes, and I'm saying to myself, okay, Mikey Garcia came up and he fought for the first time and Errol gave him a shot. Well, Michael was the only one that wanted to fight him and this, that, and the other. I said, okay. How many divisions he come up? Well, technically he came up one division. No, technically he came up two. If you start off on the first floor and go to the third floor, what the fuck floor you on? And how many in between that shit? You know what I'm saying? You left the first one, you went to the second one, and you dropped off at the third one. But this is the crazy part about it, right? They want to talk about money issues and the percentages with Terrence, but they don't talk about what Errol Spence allowed Mikey Garcia to make when he fought him. That's the same shit that pissed me off about what they was doing with Deontay and trying to say a 12 million flat and 15 flat. Why not a percentage? So when Mikey Garcia, 4 division champion, undefeated when he stepped up to welterweight, was Errol Spence talking that bullshit? Do y'all know what the purses were between Errol Spence and Mikey? Somebody drop it in the live chat. Drop that shit in the live chat. I know you have your fingers on the keyboard. Somebody tell me what Mikey Garcia made when he fought Errol Spence. The Boxing Archive said, WCS, you're right about Ryan not knowing what he wants to do. There's a video on YouTube of Ryan street fighting on the beach with a random dude. Listen, I don't knock Ryan Garcia for that particular video, but I heard it wasn't him. To be honest, I heard it wasn't him. I saw the video. I heard it wasn't him. The words hate and hater are used way too much. I don't like the way people use it nowadays. Well, you can put it like this, Thomas. The tongue is a sword to life and death, brother. You know, people will always, put disclaimers out there on their perception on how you speak. But words are everything. You know, people can see you with your mouth closed. And then when you speak one single word, it can either cause them to gravitate towards you or walk further away. You know what I'm saying? So hate and hater is always going to be to the perception of how that person is favoring that person or not favoring. It all depends on bias, man. That B word. Bias. Bias is one of those words that is injected with judgment. That's how it is. But somebody tell me how much Mikey Garcia made against Errol Spence. And then you would see why I call bullshit when it comes to Terrence Crawford. Because Mikey Garcia entered the welterweight division without a belt. Terrence Crawford has a belt. But yet every time it comes up, his string holders, they want to sit up here and say, well, Terrence Crawford doesn't deserve 50-50 with Errol Spence. He doesn't deserve. I said, what the fuck you mean don't deserve, dog? The fuck you mean? Like, did Mikey deserve what he got? He hadn't even contended in the 147-pound division, period. So you're saying it's okay for Mikey to be a 4-division champion and no one talks about it. But for Terrence to be a 3-division champion, undisputed, of the 4-belt era, he doesn't deserve a 50-50 notch because people steadily comparing his resume of welterweight to Errol Spence's. That makes absolutely zero sense to me. Like, why don't you just put them in the ring knowing that both of them have their credentials right now? Errol Spence has his 2 world championships, and Terrence Crawford has multiple championships and currently the WBO world champion at welterweight. Are we really playing numbers 2-1? Are we really playing numbers when it comes to Errol Spence and say he has 2 titles, Bud has 1, but yet ignore the fact that Bud has 6 straight stoppages at welterweight? 6 straight stoppages. And how many undefeated fighters are included in there? Can we say Jeff Horn, Jose Benavidez, Gray Machine? You know what I'm saying? Can we put those names in there of fighters that he's taking their O away? I mean, shit, the last time Jose Benavidez came back, he fought at 47, he come back 2 weight class higher. Bud sent him up the motherfucker into retirement briefly, dog. Dude ballooned up in weight. That's all I'm saying, man. This game is crazy, bro. If it's anything you ever do, don't take platforms that speak on another fighter, right? That fighter is something that is not a physical contact between you and I. That means for me to anybody else that may be listening, right? So you can't place, let's just say it's Errol Spence, right? You can't sit up here and be drawn in and psychologically connected so much to the point where you actually is treating it like me and you had a physical disagreement. We had a psychological disagreement. And that brought it to a personal standoff. You can't do that shit. You can't take this media YouTube shit and listen to the words of people. And then they're talking about a third party. That third party being Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence. And you make it personal against. Look, brothers be getting on here and they be going at other brothers and they never met them a day of their fucking life. Like they fuck you, nigga. You don't know Errol Spence. I'm over here in Texas, nigga. You don't know Errol Spence, nigga. Shut your ass up, man. You don't know. Like, do you know Errol Spence? Have you broken bread with this guy? Have you seen him train? I know that ain't true. Because Derek has a close lock and key on that gym. So my question is why are you in this dude's back pocket? Why are you dragging behind Errol? I support you, Errol. Please, Errol, please recognize me. Acknowledge my presence, bro. This is what I'm getting. Look, I haven't had no qualms like me supporting Terrence Crawford, right? He is a guy who is reserved in talking to the media, right? So when I started trying to get an interview, me knowing this, it took me about a year to get an interview with Terrence Crawford. But when he gave me the interview, this is my respect to Crawford when it comes to man-to-man shit, because I'm much older than he is, right? But the fact he never provided me any type of indication he was going to give me an interview during that year. Like, I said, hey, I just, hey, bud, how you doing, man? Can I get an interview? Blah, blah, blah. He said, all right, I get back with you, but let him do what he got to do. But when it came down to him giving me an interview, he told everybody else that was around me that had their cameras out. He said, I'm only doing an interview with him. He said, I'm only doing an interview with him. He didn't get disrespectful. He didn't call them out their name. He just said, everybody was, saw him posted up. He didn't go to no undisclosed location or none of that. He said, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm doing an interview with him. That's it. And he allowed me that one-on-one opportunity, man. Mad respect to Bud, dog. He gave me the motherfucking interview and he don't like media like that. That was grown man shit. But y'all tell me how many of y'all been able to talk to damn Errol Spence outside of media scrum? Tell me. Look, I look back on, look, man, I try not to go in on these cats, man. They do it to themselves. Man, they act like I'm talking some fact, some non-factual shit. I remember when Correa used to be an Errol Spence junkie. And Errol could do no fucking wrong. And then the jealousy set in and he ended up getting caught saying some bullshit. And this motherfucker on IG crying, Errol, Errol, fam, Errol, fam. Hey, fam, I ain't say that, fam. I ain't say that. Oh, my God, dog. And, hey, loyal to the game boxing talk. You know who you are. You know it. Hey, they know what they did to me when I went out in Texas. I keep that shit 100. I don't care how many fans you got on YouTube, bro. I don't go around provoking niggas. But they know what they did. They know what they did, man. Ain't nobody on here can say I did that shit. Whether it's with Deontay, whether seeing Bud Crawford, T.O., it don't matter the boxers that I was interviewing, Joshua Greer Jr., none of that shit. They cannot say that I treated them a certain way when I was on Media Day. But let me just reflect on this shit dealing with Errol Spence because it's relevant. I drove out to Texas, right? And the only reason I'm bringing this up because somebody, was mentioning some stuff to me about that individual Correa that's out there, right? And I wasn't even worried about Correa. I was like, okay, he is what he is. He got this fad going on, and it is what it is, right? When I went up to Texas, Correa was nice as I don't know what. all this beef and him being mad and shit. He was trying to be a goddamn friend and shit. But check this out though. I went out there and obviously that was beef. I went out there solo dolo all the way to Texas. You had dudes off YouTube that we were supposed to eat. These niggas not even picking up their phone. Like, I'm coming all the way from the South, shout. I'm coming from the A. And I'm talking to these dudes on the phone. I say, yeah, I'm on my way, da-da-da. Get up there, post up in the hotel downtown. And I'm like, hey, we here, we're gonna eat lunch. Corey had these niggas on lock. You know why? You know how he had these niggas on lock? He promised them, he said, nah, we ain't talking to Scotty, man. Me and him ain't cool, so y'all fuck with him. I'm not gonna give y'all that, that exclusive that y'all want. These niggas was kissing Corey ass to get back there in the back of the dressing room so they can hold the WBC belt and thought they was gonna go back there for Spence and get this exclusive content and shit like that. So these niggas would not pick up the phone, dog. They would not pick up the phone. This is real life, no cap. This is the underground shit that happens in media that's never talked about, right? And I'm just going to end it with this right here, right? So I'm up in Texas. I said, I'm going to go get me something to eat, man. Fuck it. So they told me where they was going to get something to eat at. I say, what time y'all meet? Oh, I don't know. I say, all right, these bum ass niggas, man. I go up, I show up at the place, I order my food. And I'm actually sipping on some, boom. I look behind me, shawty. And these same YouTube niggas is sitting 20 feet behind me, right in my path. They see. They're sitting right back there not saying nothing, dog. Like good little boys. I just thought that was the most hoe shit ever, dog. I thought it was the most hoe shit ever, dog. That nigga shut y'all grown ass men down just because me and him had a disagreement. So he shut all y'all niggas down that was going up there to see Errol Spence. And at the time he was in Errol Spence camp, so to speak. And he had access. He said, man, I'm telling y'all niggas, man. Look, this is another thing I forgot. This nigga thought he got mad because I ain't check in with him in Texas. Nigga, what? What? This nigga got mad because I ain't check in with him in Texas, dog. Who, me? Me, nigga? You expect me to drive 12? I supposed to check in with you? Like them other niggas you was with? And look, and they goddamn, they was nice little boys the whole weekend. On fight night, they was just waiting after the fight so they can go back there and get that shit with Errol, hold that title and shit. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's the damn bullshit to be happening. I haven't seen it though. I haven't seen it from other individuals except them. But I just thought I'd put that up there because he was attached to the Errol Spence camp and that exploded in his face. But the soft ass niggas that was rolling with him, they went up there and wouldn't even answer their phones the entire weekend, bro. And then when I get back to the house, I'm calling and I say, hey, what happened, dog? Listen, a nigga like me, I saw them niggas 20 feet behind me in the restaurant. I didn't even go up there and approach him. Like, no, hell no, nigga. I'm not walking up to you like I'm a fan and say, hey, I ain't see y'all back here. Can I sit down? Them dudes know I was right there, but they was on lock and key. They was on motherfucking timeout. Corey put them on timeout, y'all. All because of Errol Spence. I got access. See, brothers don't need to act like that. That is the absolute wrong way on how to do shit. And any one of them niggas that know that, they want to damn debate this shit on YouTube and say I'm lying, let's talk about it. because he had grown ass men. He has women. You have women that damn look up to you in some way, shape, or form. I know the women I roll with. If I would have told them, "Oh no, no, I ain't picking up the phone, man. I gotta hold this shit down. Man. I want to see Earl." She would have said, "No, what the fuck you doing?" These dudes was on lock for me the whole week. I wasn't even trying. Look, I never asked to see Errol Spence. I never asked to see him. I just drove up to see his fight. But these dudes, they was like put on timeout and say, "Nah, since me and him had a disagreement on Facebook, I don't want y'all niggas talking to him." So when I get up there, no one answered the phone. Then uh somebody shot a text. Nigga, if you text it, you can pick up the phone. "Oh, we might eat at this place right here." I said, "Okay." So I'm chilling, boom. Go out there to that place, don't see him. I order my food, I eat. Them niggas sitting 20 feet behind me and shit. They came in the restaurant behind me, being good little boys. Then fight night, I was done at that point. I'm just there to enjoy the scenery. Like, it was so many women out there in Texas. I was like, wow. And then, of course, the fight was what it was. Errol won the fight. I didn't have no disdain against Errol or anything. This was strictly on his fanboy, his former fanboy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that was just a story I put out there. Brother Boxing Talk, what's good? Sir Ken in the building. World Combat Sports, salute. Salute to the wrenches. Salute to the chat. Smash the like. I appreciate you. That's Sir Ken on deck. But man, that type of shit goes on out here, bro. Like, you stay to yourself and then, niggas wonder what's going on in your life. But that shit right there is real life. That's true. One nigga in Texas had them on lock the whole weekend. They couldn't even communicate. They had to stay close to him like, "Yeah, look who I got next to me." Not Scotty. You never would have seen me in that group roaming around, not talking to people I know on YouTube. Like, "Dude, you saw so for okay, cool, man. What's up?" "Nah, man, you can't talk to him, man. I told you, man, you're going to blow it. I got y'all lined up to go back and see Earl." Anyway, I'm moving on, man. Y'all know what it is. 2022, man. Let's see what can we put together on this YouTube community, this YouTube Serengeti. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the upcoming fights. Devin Haney get this victory. Of course, Michael Williams Jr. in December 11, Madison Square Garden, get that victory, 20-0. And if you didn't hear, after this fight with Michael Williams Jr., he's going to the police academy. So his entire family is, part of law enforcement anyway. So it would be a good look for Michael Williams Jr. planning his process, moving forward in life. So that's a big salute to Michael Williams Jr., man. And I forgot to ask y'all, what did y'all think about Gary Antonio Russell and Alejandro? I think his name was Alexander or Alejandro Santiago. What do y'all think about that decision? I thought Santiago, to be honest, did enough, man. It looked like Antonio may have been injured. He had a left knee brace on, but Santiago was landing some very, very solid shots to close out the back end, the second half of the fight. I thought he did enough to win. Real talk, I did. But man, that is it for me. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Let me check something before I close this out. Teofimo said, "Everybody knew I won. I scored at 10-2. Teo, stop. Stop, dog. Oh, stop, dog. Oh, shout out to Stephen Fulton. That's what that was slipping my mind. Stephen Fulton and Brandon Figueroa. Stephen Fulton and Brandon Figueroa was a tough fight. Damn. Man, look, I gotta give a shout out to Brandon Figueroa for underestimating him, dog. Like Figueroa brought it to Cool Boy Steph. And Cool Boy Steph wasn't backing down, man. You know, Brandon, some fighters that fight like Brandon Figueroa short, as they call it, they lower themselves to fight in close proximity. You know, like sometimes Paul Williams used to do, Robert Easter. You'll get tall fighters who fight to the level, the height of their opposition. And I felt that Figueroa did that a lot, but he did it well, dog. Figueroa fought on the inside well. He used his size. His management was very, very good, dog. It was a close fight. I underestimated Figueroa being a pretty boy. And then, of course, I was in the building when he should have took that loss. I forgot the guy's name, but he should have took that loss that day. I wasn't sold on Figueroa, but his last two fights, when he stopped Luis Neri and he went in there with dang Stephen Fulton, I have to give him a salute, man. Brandon Figueroa impressed me for real. And he even stayed around post-fight and said, "You think you won that fight?" He was there like a G. Figueroa, like, you think you won that fight? And then Stephen Fulton said, "We can run it back." But in his heart of hearts, Figueroa knows he's moving up. You know what I'm saying? He's moving up. He's moving up, man. Jim Gray asked him, "Well, would you be willing to take a rematch?" But he's moving up. So it's one of those things like, am I going to get paid enough money to entice me to stay here and rematch Stephen Fulton? Or do I move up because I'm having, issues making weight? It was a good fight, man. Some people say Figueroa won that fight. Some people say Fulton won. At the end of the day, man, shout out to Cool Boy Steph, unified super bantamweight champion. Unified super bantamweight champion, dog. Shout out to Cool Boy Steph, dog. Fighters go in there with injuries all the time. Batman spoke on the injury this morning, but I still say he did just enough to get the nod. Okay. So you felt he did enough to get the nod. All right. What was up with the injury though, there, Ken? What was up with the injury? So he had a knee injury? Because that's unlike Antonio Russell to not move around and to sit on the ropes and bang it out the way he did. I mean, that's unlike him. That's uncharacteristic of how he operates a fighter, in my opinion. That was a real good fight. I scored it a draw, but I had no problem with the decision because it was really close. I agree with that. I didn't think nobody won definitively, but it was a damn good fight. It was a damn good fight. Like Kambosos and Teo stole it. I thought it would be the other way around. I thought Fulton and Figueroa would steal the night. But shout out to them, man. Shout out to Stephen Fulton, them being the unified super bantamweight champion. Okay, he wasn't in. Okay, he had a leg injury. Okay, right. Shout out to Batman. Batman real close to the Russell family over there, the first family of boxing. So shout out to Batman. But people, man, that's my time, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. I was going through some of the possible. I mean, it's getting dense. We getting to the end of the year, people. Whoo, man. They talking about Devin Haney gloats about Teofimo loss to Kambosos. Let me see what he had to say. Let me see what Devin had to say. Woo, Haney going in on Teo. Haney says Teo was a fraud. Damn. Haney said, I hope it all makes sense now. Teo was a fucking fraud, says Devin Haney in reacting to Teo's loss to Kambosos Jr. last Saturday. Oh, shit. Devin Haney ain't pulling no punches right out the gate. Congrats to George Kambosos. Well-deserved victory. You work hard for it. Let's make it happen for all the belts. Real undisputed. Okay. He put the hashtag up there. All right. Oh, yeah. Teo has gone crazy. I told y'all already, said Haney. Man, I ain't mad at Devin. Talk your shit, man. You're in a combat sport, man. You one of the top names in that division. Talk your shit, dog. 100% focus on Jojo Diaz. You guys will see December 4th. I'm ready. Haney said about his title defense. So he called Teo a fraud, which I can pretty much predict that was coming. He came back up. He came back up. He came backed it up. He never was hurt, and he talked to me. He went, Dad, I was never hurt. I took the fight. It was an easy fight for him, and he won every round. Do you give Kambosos 2 rounds? Okay, yes. 3 rounds. Okay, yes. Even 4 rounds. But come on, man. What happened to us was horrible. So this must be Teofimo Sr. Oh, yeah. His pops was talking. The people know who won tonight. It doesn't matter what the judges say. We won, said Teofimo Lopez Sr. That was a flash knockdown. Everybody knows that, said Lopez Sr. on Teo getting knocked down in the first round by Kambosos. Okay, it could be a flash knockdown. Okay, cool. But all the other shit you talking, come on now. Now it goes on to say, Teofimo will knock everybody out from now on. Madison Square Garden was booing this shit. It was no freaking effort. We won every round, said Lopez Sr., and stating his view that Teo deserved to win a lopsided 12-round decision. Unanimous decision over Kambosos. I'll probably give him Kambosos 2 rounds because of the flash knockdown. I know what my son has, and I taught him to win every round by touching every second, every 2 seconds. He was touching. There's no way in the point system that this guy Kambosos won a freaking round. What the fuck? Let me rephrase that, man, because English is my first language, and I'm getting older. Sometimes I might just let shit slip past me, and the medulla oblongata might be deficient a little bit. And neurological transmissions may be a little bit intermittent, slow. You know what I'm saying? They might be flickering on and off. But he said there's no way in point systems that this guy Kambosos won a freaking round. And that's just the way it is. We don't got to perfect nothing, said Lopez. Let me go back up here. I'll probably give Kambosos 2 rounds because of the flash knockdown. I know what my son has. But in the last paragraph, he says there's no way in the point system that this guy Kambosos won a freaking round. But up top, you say, I probably give him Kambosos 2 rounds. Okay, senior, I got it. I got it, senior. You don't give him a round. But you say you give him 2 rounds because of the knockdown. Okay, I got it, bro. Something isn't right at home. Something isn't right. Let me see. Yeah, man. What's y'all take on what I just read, man? Before I get up out of here. Nervous energy got Teo dropped early, but that right hand took him out of the fight. Also, Teo did not use his left hand for either the fence or any real shot with any mustard on it. Facts there, Ken. And also, he had that hand dragging down below his waist. I don't know if his elbow was injured or motherfucking wrist, his hand. I don't know. But it definitely didn't have the pop and mustard on that shit than it usually did, especially when he stepped in there with Richard Comey. You know what I'm saying? Something was going on. And just because I'm bringing it up, it's not an excuse for Teo. I'm just saying what I know behind the scenes and everything else that was attached to Teo's injury report before he stepped in the ring. And also the personal shit he has going on. But what y'all think about his dad saying that Kambosos, let me go back over here and bring this shit up again. His dad said there's no way in the point system that this guy Kambosos won a freaking round. The point system. There's no way that Kambosos won a round when we're talking about the format of the point system. But in the paragraph above, he said I'll probably give Kambosos 2 rounds. What do y'all have to say about that? Is it what are we talking about here? Is something debilitated? Should we call a doctor on deck? I mean, what are we talking about? Kambosos for real? Kambosos didn't win a round, dog. Oh my god, dog. Why do y'all have to do that? Why do you have to sit up here and just totally attempt to erase something that's reality? Like, that shit is so factual. Why do you want to erase that? You trying to say Kambosos did not win a round last night and Teo was look, he was bloody, dog. He was wearing a crimson mask in that bitch. God damn. Wow. Lopez dad is on something. He was speaking reckless before the fight and was giving terrible instructions in the corner. He loved his pops though, man. And just like Danny Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, you know, some of these fighters who are very boisterous in their son's corner, and all the people here most of the time are their fathers talking and putting a camera on them because they know they're gonna be they're gonna have access to these impulsive rants that goes on with them. And you know, Lopez's father was riding the high when he predicted his son to be champion in 15 fights. That shit came true. He was riding the all-time high with Lomachenko when he say, you know, he'd beat Lomachenko. That was all-time high. Everything after that fight, he couldn't really speak it into existence because it never could come to the forefront. The shit was delayed. You know what I'm saying? And then he finally walks into the ring in his backyard and loses. Oh my God, dog. That takes me back to Josue Vargas. Did he underestimate Cepeda? Like, jeez. It's tough fighting in your backyard. Hey. Anyway. Man, y'all been a blessing on this Sunday, bro. Appreciate y'all for pulling up and listening to WCS, man. And talk about these topics. Remember, Michael Williams Jr., December 11th, Madison Square Garden. He's fighting John Bowser. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. I would definitely try to provide as much media as possible. And then also, you know, tune in to that Devin Haney fight, December 4th against Joseph Diaz. That's a lightweight affair. It's going to be for Devin Haney's WBC world title. And then after that, you know, thinking about it forward, hopefully we can get clarification on this lightweight division. That's the bigger part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the bigger part right there. And shout out to Team Crawford, man. Continue to goddamn, you know, stun on these naysayers. Continue to stun on them because they don't believe Errol Spence can beat you. But continue to go in there and stop your opponents, whether it's for the first, second, or third time. Because shit, he's stopping people. He's taking people O's away, goddammit. He put Sean Porter into retirement. It's time for Errol Spence to step up and goddamn beat lucky number 7, dog. Lucky number 7. That's what it is. We're gonna do hashtag lucky 7. But we know I gotta put something else onto it. You know what I'm saying? Saddle up for lucky number 7. We got to get Spence into this. He's gonna be number 7 on the knockout register. It's coming real soon. I'm out.